Welcome. I'm glad you're back. Today we're going to talk about something that's near and dear to every woman's heart. It's not near your heart, but it is your bottom. And you want to have a bottom that doesn't look like your grandmother's or your mother's bottom. How do you do that? It is work, but it's so worth it. This is the biggest muscle on your body. Now, having it as muscle instead of predominantly fat will give you that really nice smooth texture. So muscle gives a nice smooth finish. So cellulite that people talk about, there is no such thing as cellulite. It's fat. Fat is in bubbles. It is very irregular on the surface. So the skin that overlays the top of that fat, that's what gives you that cottage cheese in a bag effect, which is so unflattering. So if you want your butt to stand up high, you want it to have a nice contour to it, and you want it to be nice and compact. What you need to do is work on the underlying muscle. So there are several ways to do it. The muscle is actually 3 muscles, and it is the biggest muscle in your body. So another real benefit to doing this is when you eat some extra calories, if you've got some muscle here, it's going to chew through those calories. So there's lots of benefits. The other thing is the functionality of this group of muscles is they're called extensors. It's how we walk. It allows us to extend once we flexed. So walking is something that we want to be able to do for as absolutely long as possible. You want to be up and moving and walking for as long as possible. It's your independence and it's your dignity. So I will remind you that I am over 60 and I've managed to keep this up and compact. So I'm going to let you in on a few secrets of how to keep the look and the function going. So some of the very, very basic things, you know I love squats. So squats are basically achieved. Some people have a lot of trouble. So we're going to break it down into very, very small pieces. Everybody thinks they know how to do a squat, but when it actually comes down to it, squats are often done very poorly. We're going to do everything with body weight. So you don't need any fancy gym equipment. You don't need to go to the gym. You can do all this at home. So you're going to start with your hands out in front of you for a counterweight. The thing about a squat is it's just it's important as going down as to go back. So I want to keep my back nice and flat and stick your bottom out. Stick it out really far. So the first thing we're going to do is bouncy squats. Now you have already warmed up at this point. You're walking or you're on your bike or whatever it is. So you warm up for about 10 minutes. So these are bouncy squats. So what we're going to do is we're going to call this SLAMMIN 60. So we are going to slam 60, the number, because we don't need to accept the labels of 60, old lady. So basically, we're going to work up to doing 60 of these. So your goal this week is to do a set of 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you're going to do at that tempo. Just keep doing it until you feel strong enough. When you're doing squats, you want to have your weight in your heels. So every time you come up, you're pushing through your heels and you're contracting back here. So every time I push in my heels, the action's going on back here. So push. The other thing you want to be always, always super careful of, these knees don't go out over the toes. So if you're going back, the knees stay where they're supposed to. So those are bouncy squats. Now, the next thing, we're going to get even a little bouncier. This is really good for your bones as well. Every time you jump up and land, it stretches your bones. So instead of just staying down and bouncing, what we're going to do is we're going to go down and we're going to jump into the center. So we're going to squat wide, and squat narrow. And again, you can keep your hands out here. I always end up with them back here. The other part is it'll keep your chest up. If you put your thumbs together back here, so you can start here, and then just to remind yourself to lift your chest up and out. Keep those shoulders back. Touch your thumbs together, and then try to think about that. So out and narrow, and wide and narrow, and wide and narrow. So we're going to 10, but you're eventually going to work up to 3 sets of 20. So that will be SLAMMIN 60. So if you do this, and all your sets up to an accumulation of 60, you'll have a slamming bottom. So the next thing we're going to do is, you can use a chair for this, you can use a sofa, you can use whatever you like. And as you can see, this is a workout. This is making me sweat. My clients do these things all the time, and they tell me how much it burns. So you might think, oh, this is a lunge. No, it's not a lunge. This is a split squat. So knee, again, the relationship to your knee and your toe, really important. So you're going to drop straight down. Drop down, up an inch, down an inch, up an inch, down an inch. Now, going up and down just a tiny little bit is a lot harder than this business. If you go up and down 1 inch, it's going to very shortly get very difficult. So of course you're going to do this on both legs. So it's an equal opportunity. So again, think of your shoulders, your pelvis is facing the wall, and down and up, and down and up, and down and up. So tiny little movements. The next thing we're going to do is, we talked about the extensor quality of, this is extension. So we're going to raise your leg behind you, and this may look like you're not doing too much, but so back, and you can lean forward. You can lean forward on a chair, the back of the sofa, anything at all. So you can lean forward. Now bring your heel up, and 4 inches is all it takes. But your pelvis should be nice and square to the floor. So up, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to do 10. And switch around. You're going to do the same thing over here. This is going to give you that nice high area. We're going to move on in a few weeks to much more advanced moves. The thing that you want to remember when you're doing this is keeping your pelvis parallel to the floor, and you can bend over here, that's fine. And little movements, don't arch your back. Like if you start to do this, or if you find if you're arching, you can keep your hand back there just to remind you, don't crunch your back. You'll get a very sore back very quickly. So little movements is all you need. Where we're working is right in here. So the next one, I'm getting out of breath. Whew. These are big muscles. They chew through a lot of oxygen and a lot of calories. So calories are just energy. It's a unit of energy measurement. So monster walk. You can do this anywhere you want. You can do it in the backyard. This is all the equipment that you need. So get down into your squat and then walk. So you have to keep this band nice and tight. You could just stand here and do this, but the functionality of your walking is just amazing. So down nice and low. The lower you go, the more benefit you're accruing. So all the time you're thinking out, out, out. That's going to work the inside of your thighs. So that's going to tighten up that area. So that's hard work, all those exercises for your bottom. But if you work your way up to 3 sets of 20, so 60, you will be slamming 60 and rocking your jeans, girls. Bye for now.